So yeah, just to round up this whole saga, this circus, this theatre of the US election, and the money go round, and the spin, and the propaganda, and the people involved in this, and the troubles in the Capitol building and in the Capitol, and 25,000 troops in Washington, which made it look like Baghdad, where there shouldn't be any American troops anyway. It's a show. And what's the purpose of this show? What are they trying to convince people? They're trying to convince people that there is an enemy. Now, here's the difference. Here's the big thing, right? Western people, generally speaking, are mostly dissatisfied with their system, with their government, with the people who they voted to run things. Western people, by and large, are mostly dissatisfied. The ones who aren't dissatisfied are generally stupid. Okay, that's the truth. This is my perspective as a Westerner, right? I know this. The ones who are happy with their government are generally really stupid. They have this thing called cognitive dissonance. You can check out Chomsky on this cognitive dissonance. Excuse me a second. I need to... So, you have this thing where the majority, I would say the majority of Western people, honestly thinking Western people, are not happy with the government, with the system as it is. And so then somebody asked me very recently, well, how do they keep everything together when it's all like this? And the fact is, what they do is very simple. Every so often, an event occurs, a 9/11, and after 9/11, there's the war against terror, or TWAT, as I called it in the media, which I worked for at the time. I think I wrote this in The Guardian. The war against terror, which I labeled TWAT, and they didn't like that term. The MI6 didn't like that, so they renamed it the War on Terror. My little joke. So you had 9/11, an event, and they spin this event, they use this event to change public perception, actually this is what they use to unite people in defense of their country, in defense of their values. They love this term, values. So you have an event, and then that spurs the country into action, and then the finger is pointed. They're your enemy. Really? Yeah, they did this horrible thing. Who? Those over there in Afghanistan or Iraq or Iran. So what? So we need to go to war. Oh, really? Okay, right. So they bang the drum and they wave the flag, the star-spangled banner, and off they go to war. And the people are united for a time under this common imaginary enemy. So you've had 9/11, you had the Gulf of Tonkin, another incident where an American ship was said to have been attacked, and then we need to invade Vietnam. Okay, really? Okay. So 9/11, and the recent event has been, in my opinion, this whole Capitol building election, a new president coming in, votes being questioned, and then there's this kind of a riotous assembly, a riotous thing, which is, in my opinion, was encouraged, and it was allowed to happen. And so now in America, you have a new thing. They're not just anti-China, which they always are, and we'll talk about that in another thing. But now there's a new thing, domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism, the far right or the far left, or whichever bunch you want to say. The new threat is the threat from within, domestic terrorism. And I can guarantee you that there will be things put into place which whittle away people's freedoms, such as they are left in the West. There's not that many. They're not as free as you might think they are. So you have this domestic terrorism term, and there will be new enforcements of this protection of the people in the name of fighting domestic terrorism. It's all bullshit. The new enemy is, and people are saying, well, okay, who's the enemy now? And you, it's you, you're the enemy. Oh, us, really? Why? Because you invaded the Capitol building. Oh, really? Jesus Christ. So the people are now the enemy. It's brilliant. It's actually, if you think about this in terms of propaganda and spin, Somebody in an office somewhere with a briefcase must be pissing his pants laughing at how clever he is, that the people can be spun this much to believe that now they're the enemy. It's fucking genius.